Good morning, everyone. This is the 6th installment in our Daily Blitz series for EA Sports College Football 25. And today we are going to begin a sort of mini-series on the art of recruiting. Here to take us through the first part of the recruiting process and the rest of the process will be the coziest recruiter, Coziest Koala 306.
Hello everyone. A quick caveat for any sighted viewers of this recording. I am low vision, and so I use screen magnifier and will need to zoom in on certain elements to be able to see them better, which means that only certain areas of the screen will be visible. If that happens, then I'll zoom out again to give people a better look at things. Now, moving on. I am currently on the custom schedules button because that's where we left off in our last video. I'm going to go up to the button that is the most important for our purposes. It will be in a different location throughout the season. Once games start and things like that, it'll be lower down, but today it's the first one on the list in the Actions tab.
Set up recruiting board & scout prospects is selected.
So I'm going to press A.
You have 5 options. Recruiting board is selected.
Now, it says you have 5 options. Those are navigable with the left and right bumpers. Now, these are the tabs of the recruiting interface. And this first one is empty at the moment because we haven't added any prospects to our recruiting board. Now, before I get too far, I want to show you another button that is very important. So if you press in on the left stick on your controller, this brings up
career spreadsheet screen.
Well, it didn't tell you what it brought up. It brought up your team needs. This is organized by the side of the ball: offense, defense, special teams. It lists each position visually. If you have players that you need at that position, the line with all the information on that position, for example, QB, will be in red, telling you that you have players you need to get.
Position rating D+.
I don't worry too much about the ratings. It's just kind of giving you an idea of the grade of your players.
Need you.
That's important. You know you need 2 of them. You can also see that on the prospect list itself. But I find it helpful to come in here and kind of have a look at each position and what you need. Once you have people signed, it'll show how many people you have targeted. And then it will show each year, so senior, junior, sophomore, freshman, and how many people you have at that particular position. You use your left trigger to filter between offense, defense, and special teams. So right now I can see that we need 2 quarterbacks with this offensive style. And so I'm going to back out of the team needs.
Prospect list.
Going to the next tab on the main recruiting interface, and that is the prospect list. There are a couple ways to filter the list. First is position, and that's again with the left trigger. And the right trigger will filter it by several other options. The first one is recommended, and I mostly just leave it at that particular one, though there are other ones you can investigate. This list is also sortable. So for example, if you wanted to
team need 3, name, star rating 4 star.
Go to the star rating and find the best players of the best, you hit X. The first time it takes it to the smallest number. The smallest number was 3 stars. And so then I hit it again to filter it so that the highest rating players are at the top. But because I know we need to look at quarterbacks, I'm going to go ahead and filter this by quarterbacks and then have a look, rather than looking at the whole list of prospects.
Narrator mode. Controller mode.
View key.
Magnifier mode.
That is done. So the top one I see is a 4-star rated quarterback.
Interest 5th.
What I'm going to do is sort it by interest. This is a look at the interest that players have in coming to your school. And that can be helpful.
Star rating 3-star.
Now, this first one has a first interest, but he's only a 3-star. So I'm going to see who's next. This one is second. They're an athlete.
Team needs 0. Position athlete.
It says team needs 0, but this athlete, one of the things that they do well is quarterbacking. So it wouldn't be a bad thing to have a look at this person since they are rated for stars and they're interested in your school. So how do I look at him more in depth? I'm going to press A to mark him, and it will say that targeted. So now he's on my prospect board.
Recruit. Entering overview screen.
I went back. I didn't press the B button. I used the left bumper to go back to our recruiting board. And the only player listed is the player that I was curious about. Now, at this stage, this first week, the only thing we are able to do, if I remember correctly,
Scouting 0%.
Yeah. The only thing we are able to do with these kids is scout them. So what I did was I pressed A on the player. There is a list of tabs here, an overview tab. This is once again navigated using the left and right bumper. The different tabs are overview, recruiting, and scouting. One that's of importance to us at this moment is recruiting. So I hit the right bumper twice to get to the recruiting tab. I'm going to press A. Did you hear that little sound?
Yes, I did.
He's a diamond. Now, remember how he is a 4-star player? Well, him being a diamond means that our scouts believe he is showing more potential even than what he is projected to be based on the information that they saw from scouting him. So he may be a 5-star player rather than a 4-star player. So that's good. He's definitely one to keep an eye on. You can have up to 35 prospects targeted at a given time. And you have only a certain number of recruiting hours available. This school has 1,000 recruiting hours because they're a pretty well-known program and they have a lot of resources. You also have a number of scholarships that you can offer, though right now is not the time to be offering scholarships to players, but that is also 35 scholarships. That concludes our first look at the recruiting board. We have recruited our first player. We have looked at the team needs area, and we have looked at some of the ways that you can filter and sort the prospect list. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I just want to give a couple of notes of what you were referencing. Just a little bit of terminology, if that's all right.
Of course.
Originally, when we first did the recruiting for this game, there were no sounds for if a player was a diamond or if a player was a bust, and now there's a very nice little sound that will play. That's good. EA gave us that audio cue. Second, what she's referring to is what EA calls the gem bust system. So what does that mean if you're a bust? Well, let's say you are looking at a 4-star or a 5-star recruit. it means that your scouts believe that this player is not a 5-star, but a 4-star.
And
But-
so with this player, he would be a 3-star if he had been a bust.
Right, but just keep in mind that a bust does not mean a terrible player.